Welcome, everybody, to the Awake and Sober podcast, a podcast about life in recovery through Christ. How are we all doing today?
Well, looking forward to today, actually.
Absolutely.
We're coming up on that season, the season of
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
So
what are we going to do then today? Are we going to eat turkey? Stuffing, mashed potatoes? I'm in.
Did you cook? I didn't cook. Did you cook?
You know what? Next week we'll just have a potluck.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, we'll all just bring something to eat and be asleep by the time we get
I'm in. Through. I am in. I'll eat while we're recording. It'll be all right.
We'll be passed out.
We'll get gravy all over the buttons.
Get some chicken pot pie up in her.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Stick to your bones.
So today we're going to talk gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to it.
What it means to show an attitude of gratitude.
Nice.
Not just an attitude of attitude.
Not just attitude.
Not just attitude, but
Absolutely.
attitude of gratitude.
And I think looking into the plus side of what gratitude actually does for you in your recovery. There's a major play in our recovery.
Oh, yeah.
So
I would say it's one of the most important things in your recovery. Be thankful for what you've been through and what you got now. And
yeah.
The way we think determines a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does. And we've done shows on that, on how we think. But, Michael, how are you today?
I am doing so well today. This past week has been really, really rough. Went to the urgent care, went to the ER. I was out of work for a week, sick. And finally, the last couple of days, I started feeling better. And I actually got on the golf course this morning by myself and listened to some music and just enjoyed myself, enjoyed the weather, enjoyed the colors, enjoyed the sounds. And I was incredibly grateful, and it kind of showed me how much I take my health for granted.
Right.
That I need to learn to listen to my body more and let people know what's actually going on with me, because I'm mostly just go. And I can't do that anymore because it's not feasible to continue.
Are you getting too old?
He's growing up.
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but no. But no. And today was a gorgeous day. So hopefully everybody, get outside. We got this weather for the next couple of weeks too, so I'm looking forward to it.
Do we really?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, disc golf time.
Oh yeah. Life is good. So.
I guess tomorrow's going to be a little disc golf day then. I mean, if it's going to be gorgeous tomorrow, we can't play at the fort, but we can play somewhere.
I think it's supposed to be like 70s for
we go to Quail
this week.
We go to Quail.
Actually, I got an appointment in the morning to handle.
That's okay.
So I think they're going to meet me, St. Charles, kind of halfway on their way home. So we'll meet with them tomorrow morning.
Do you need me, or did you ask?
I didn't ask, and I think he just wants to chat with me for now. So
I'm
going to handle it.
Go do it. So speaking of that, how are you?
Better in that, and I'm glad you brought up going to the urgent care, because I too myself had to go to urgent care this week because I have arthritis in my back where I broke it when I was younger, so it's caused issues. But I was able to take that bit of misery that I had and use it in teaching yesterday. How, when we start doing the things that we encourage our clients to do, get a primary care physician, be able to follow up with them and take care of yourself. We both put that into practice over this last week.
Yeah.
So we do practice what we preach.
100%.
And we were able to share it. So I was grateful that I have been doing that, so I was able to take it to others.
Nice.
You like the way I did that?
Yeah, we missed you at church this morning, though.
It was good.
I had a bad night, man. I think the medication maybe wore off somewhere towards the end of the night, but
nothing worse. And my wife was gone in Kentucky at a conference, so I was here alone. I never slept in my room. You leave it up to me. I just sleep on the couch all the time.
Yeah.
And this recliner's, so I ended up falling asleep last night on the couch, and no alarm set. Woke up and thought it was like 8 o'clock, but it was 10 till 9. So I had to get ready for the 9 a.m. service and get up there. And so I was a little late, but I walked into a great word today. Yeah. And a little bit about what we're going to be talking about. It's that season. Everybody's going to talk about gratitude, and it's something that I know we like to talk about outside of just Thanksgiving, but having an attitude of gratitude. Mm-hmm. Who wanted to kick it off?
Looks like you got it right in front of you.
Well, It's talking about here. It's about why gratitude matters and how it can transform our recovery. Like we shared, it may suck that we're in a recovery program. But being grateful for you really get to see how much that recovery is actually working for you, and then you be able to go and share with others. I think that's a huge thing in recovery is being grateful for the moments that you have. And so it's been brought to my attention that my attitude has changed over this last year.
Maybe a
Little
little.
year plus. I'm not quite the same guy I once was, and so I went and asked my wife about it, and she tells me she shared her gratitude towards that I'm not as angry as I once was, and that she's very grateful for that, and whatever it is that I'm doing that I need to be sharing with the others, so that too, and so I'm grateful that it has come to that. I never thought, but
Yeah, you're a whole different person. I mean, let's go pre-brother and post-brother. Pre-brother, you were all right, but you were still kind of a jerk at times. You just had this little mentality. But since then, it's night and day. So I mean, night and day. It's been fun to watch. Almost a little ridiculously overjoyed sometimes.
Yeah. This is the only Derek I've ever known, so
lucky.
yeah, right. Yeah.
And it really is. You would bite people's heads off. You were still crabbier, but you weren't using. But you were still working your recovery. But now you're actually.
See, I had to
I
argue.
guess yeah, you weren't, but you were sober.
I was sober. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I wasn't working my recovery. I was sober.
Yeah, I mean, you were checking a box in most things, and nowadays you seem to be living it.
Well, that's what I was kind of sharing. If we're gonna share this stuff with others and help guide others through their recovery, we need to be practicing the stuff ourselves,
Definitely.
putting forth that effort. I'm not ashamed to tell people, hey, I just, you need to go see a psychiatrist. Or was I going to, dude, I just talked to one Wednesday at this time. So don't sit there and tell me that it's not going to help. Take it from somebody who it's worked for, and things like that.
And a psychiatrist is a psychiatrist for a reason.
Right.
Your primary care is your primary care for a reason. Sniffles, primary care. Psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird how that works.
Yeah.
No,
And then have a therapist too.
Yes.
So have something well-rounded. But how often do you really give thanks to things?
I'm like to think I'm very grateful every morning I get up because I should not be here on this earth. Everything I've been through in my time, things that have happened, I shouldn't be here today, but I am, and I'm very grateful that I get to wake up.
So what does that look like then?
The way I show my gratitude for waking up is I go forth throughout the day doing everything I can to make it a good day. Make the best out of what was given to me. Even if it's stormy and rainy outside, it's going to be a good day. May have a bad moment, but I'm not going to have a bad day. Because that's my way of showing gratitude for being able to wake up another day and live.
So how do you change those bad moments to where they won't ruin a whole day?
I usually call somebody or talk to somebody, get it off my
Tyrone?
chest. Tyrone.
Tyrone.
We got Tyrone
What's
a
up,
lot
Tyrone?
on
High
the show.
five.
High five. I'm not Tyrone.
we got a lot of. Better call somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But talking about it, getting it off my chest, really quashes the thing. Or like I shared in a couple podcasts back, if you can remember what it was, I go talk to some individuals that I work with who always have something nice and funny to say that really calms my nerves.
Nice.
Nursing, love you guys.
Shout out nursing. Shout out nursing.
Yeah. And the nurses were happy, I hear.
They were.
So what does gratitude look like for you, Mike?
Well, you asked him, how do you, I guess, gauge your gratitude? So I journal every single night before I go to bed, right? With my fantastic therapist, I send her the journal entries every single night, and it asked me like, what am I grateful for? And then I'm also doing Fanos, which we talked about last week: feelings, affirmations, needs, ownership, and struggles or successes, and It really goes to show me, I'm not grateful for the same thing every single day.
Right.
One day for me, I feel like gratitude is an action, not just a passive form of, being. Yes, can we all be grateful? Of course, but I feel like the more that I am grateful and the more that I do recognize those bad times and I say, holy crap, this is a bad time. And then I talk to somebody about it, I'm immediately thankful for that bad time. And I'm more thankful for my sobriety during that bad time. Because in the past, bad moments used to wreck my days. Hell, they used to wreck my weeks, no, like straight up. And I in early recovery, I heard I have bad moments, not bad days anymore, and that changed my outlook completely. And then I started living a little bit more grateful, and all of the crap I put into the world for the first, while I was using 17 years of active use. Um, I'm thankful for those moments. I'm thankful for all those failed relationships. I'm thankful for all those friendships that kind of slipped away. I'm thankful for the jail time. I'm thankful for the law. I'm thankful for everything because without those things and without those trials, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I'm actively grateful at all times. And do I slip sometimes? Of course. We all do, right? I'm human. We're all human. But the more I can say, okay, I'm having a bad time, I need to talk to somebody, the more I can really process what that means to be grateful.
I like the way you put that. You kind of put like gratitude's a verb.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Yeah, and I think a lot of things that we talk about, like love actively, don't love passively. Like I feel like love is a verb as well.
Yes.
It's not just something that you have in your heart. I think it's something that you show and you do.
Love is definitely an action.
Right.
It's not a feeling.
Yeah.
You can act your way into it. I mean, you could end up feeling because of how much you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I like to tell Christina, I want to love you better today than I did yesterday. If it was just a feeling, I can't. But since it's an action,
mm-hmm.
that means I can.
Mm-hmm.
And so what am I doing to love my wife well? And so in this, what am I doing to be grateful for?
Mm-hmm.
I like that you work, you show it, with the people that you meet with. And there's different ways that we could do it. Me, I like to write.
What do you write with?
Oh man, I write with a beautiful tactile turn that has a great refill in it now. Never tried the V7.
Yeah.
So, but a tactile turn pen, man, I journal my butt off. If you look at, and it's pretty neat, I have it here right now. I have 4. I have 5 notebooks in this one cover. So I got one on the back, and then I got
one of them is empty.
Oh no!
One.
And they're all for different things. Like
Yeah,
I have
right.
one for messages. I have one for random thoughts throughout the day. Keeping up if I did something wrong and I might have to make that right later. All of them have a different purpose, except for I just got this new one inside. That's a thicker one. I like it.
Yeah.
Is that your way of working step 10?
Do what? Yes.
Constantly doing a daily inventory on everything you do?
Yeah. So if it's questionable, like if I said something, I'm like, I need to run through this, and I might have to. I'll write it down. I love to write. I don't know why. I just do. But for me, it's the why. Why do you show mercy and grace throughout the day? Why are you wanting to live out your gratitude? And for me, whenever I write what I'm grateful for, I put why. Because the thing is, you can send me a gratitude list and say, I'm grateful for this, 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 and this. And if you don't tell me why, then you're not grateful. So the why to me is what always matters.
I dig that. I think that's something I could do better. I could do more of.
Recognizing your why?
Recognizing the why. Like, I'm thankful for this, or I'm grateful for this. Why? Don't
I'm
just put it
grateful
there.
that I woke up. But why am I truly grateful that I woke up? Because I'll tell you what, I'd rather be in heaven with my father. But why am I grateful? Because I get to serve my wife. I get to serve others in our community. And I get another chance to share the gospel with somebody that we haven't yet. It's an awesome opportunity. But if I just say, well, I'm grateful for my dog. No, I'm not. I got to feed the thing. It barks when people come over. I'm not
Traps
really
all over the
grateful
house.
for it. But if I know the why, I could truly be grateful.
Yeah.
I am grateful for my dog, and I'll tell you why. Because there'll be times I'll be upset, and he knows it, and he'll come lay his head right there on my knee and let me know he's there for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that I am grateful that I have him for that.
But if you just say you're grateful for Buddy, or you say I'm grateful for Buddy and here's why, it changes your attitude on the inside. Your heart really smiles which it don't, because I said I'm grateful for my dog. No, I'm grateful for Buddy because this is why.
Right.
That why is what changes us.
That's what I'm grateful when I wake up in the morning, because I get to go and take everything that people have helped me with and return it to other individuals. Paying it forward, I guess, with every,
Yeah.
I'm where I'm at today because people have helped me. Therefore, I'm not going to stop helping people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm grateful that I get to wake up and do that. That's why I'm grateful for waking up.
Another link in a chain, man.
So now in our message today at church, he was talking about how easy it is to forget the pain that we've been through. And it's funny, man. It was a recovery message without it being a recovery. Matter of fact, down here, right down here, I wrote 12-step. Here it is. We can only keep what we have by giving it away,
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a whole message on it. What happens to us if we forget the pain?
We go back to the same behaviors that got us there.
Yeah.
RTP, baby.
Yeah.
Remember the pain.
It's, when they said that to me at the beginning, I'm like, I don't want to remember this garbage.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And now I'm like, ooh, I need a newcomer real quick. I think I might be forgetting. So
my inner forgetter
yeah,
is being activated. Right.
Yeah.
Remember the pain? Yeah, it's a real thing. We all have built-in forgetters if we stop doing them.
Weren't you here for that when he was talking?
Did you
Because
not?
then 2 weeks later, whenever he was trying to figure out, he didn't remember what it was called.
I forgot my forgetter.
Yeah.
My cousin came to town a couple weeks
That
ago.
might have been the day I was sick.
You might have been, yeah.
The
But
inner forgetter.
she's in recovery. She's been in long-term recovery for over a decade now, and she said, I have a built-in forgetter. If I stop doing the things that got me to where I am, I'm going to go back to
Things that got me where I started.
things that got me where I was.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I had something, but I totally
You just
forgot.
totally lost your
Totally
thought,
forgot it.
man. Come on.
I did it. Oh well, it happens.
Yeah. Inner forgetter, right?
Yeah,
That's more alcohol
Right?
than anything else. But
dude, look at that. Come on. So, I want to say, a lot of times we feel like we don't have the strength or the willpower to overcome our obstacles. And a lot of this all comes down to like negative thoughts. Gratitude is a way of changing the way we think from negative to a positive aspect. We'll get caught up in, anger, self-doubt, hopelessness. But if we can maintain a sense of gratitude, we can stay focused on what is important, right? And find strength in difficult times. Like a couple weeks ago, it was one of the harder times I've had in recovery, which I had 21 months yesterday.
congrats, my brother.
Thank you very much. And it was, almost 2 years, and I have, we all have trials, right, and struggles. And it was one of the first times that I actually thought about drinking, and it was cool because it was like I was grateful for the fact that I was thinking about drinking, which is crazy, because to me that is what Remember the Pain feels like. It's like it's still there, and I know that if I have one, I'm going to wind up exactly where I was. And
One
that's
is
all it
too
takes.
many, and 1,000 is not enough.
That is so true.
So 2 Corinthians 12:9-10, then it says, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me." So there we go. We don't have enough power. We don't have enough strength. We don't have enough willpower without God.
And we should be grateful for that.
And then some.
And then some.
But it all starts with the way we think. So you can go back to CBT or any of it. I mean,
Yeah.
it all starts with the way that we think.
Mm-hmm.
If I could wake up and be grateful, or I wake up and I could be a crabby old man, it's going to dictate my day.
Right.
It even goes on a scientific note here. It says that there's been a research paper done that the more grateful you are about things, the less anxiety and depression seem to affect you.
Great gratitude and happiness are correlated completely.
That was a couple episodes back.
Yeah.
Find out who said that and can let us know.
And I was going to say something else to it, but go ahead. It's going to be a show of forgetfulness today. And I'm grateful that I'm alive and I have a brain to be able to forget things.
There you go. One of the best things about being positive is obviously your self-esteem. For the people that are listening and for the men in this room, at one point our self-esteem was an all-time low. just completely worthless, hopeless, completely just existing, not even living, just existing. I know that's where I was, at least.
Right.
You know, and I didn't like myself. I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago or even last week. It's like I hated myself. No one hates me more than I do, until I started being grateful for what I actually do have, not what I want. That's when my mindset changed. It's like, do I want a big house and fancy car? Yeah, cool. That'd be great. But what do I got? I got a roof over my head. I got food in my belly. I got air in my lungs. I got a great family that loves me. I got a great girlfriend. I got a cool dog.
Yeah.
We'll throw that dog back in there. But that's what I have. It's not, I'm not worried about the feelings of what I want. I'm worried about the facts of what I have. Facts over feelings every single time.
Right.
So I know what I was going to say too.
Yeah, go back. Yeah.
With the gratitude, they show that writing 5 minutes a day is equal to your employer doubling your salary. Harvard and the Psychological Association did a study, and I know that there's a bunch of other studies, but there's not a study that says writing about gratitude for 5 minutes a day does this much harm. Every study is about the positives that come out of it. I mean, if it could give you the same happiness as somebody doubling your salary, come on, 5 minutes a day. But that's where the why comes in. I couldn't write a gratitude list for 5 minutes, but I could write something that I'm grateful for, and I could write 5 minutes for that. Like I sat there one time in church, and I was going to make a gratitude list with the whys, and all I did is stayed on Christina the entire time. I'm like, man, I wrote like 4 pages of why I'm grateful for her. So we could write it, but we just have to get into that why.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to read another scripture. I want to talk about one real quick, because the things you keep going into, Mike, just ties straight into it. And so it's going to come from Mark 6. Where did I put it? 30 through the end of the feeding of the 5,000. Now I got to find it, but I'll let you talk for a minute. I'm going to find my scripture and then I'll go into it.
So one of the sayings about gratitude from Maya Angelou. I mean, that woman could talk. I love to hear things that she has to say. But she says, being present in all things and be thankful for all things. I guess the more gratitude we show, the more present we are in our relationships, our recovery, our job, things we do. The more grateful we are towards things, the more present we are in these things, and the better we do at stuff.
The more mindful we are. Absolutely. Yeah.
I like the way she talks.
I guess I'm going to have to be grateful today, aren't I?
For what?
Actually, I'm grateful that I made it to the service today.
Yeah.
I'd have been mad missing that one. Matter of fact, I think I missed probably 2 minutes of his talk, and I'll watch it. I'll watch the whole thing again. It was that good. It is worth it to watch it. So this is the feeding of the 5,000. The apostles gathered around Jesus, reported to him all they had done and taught. Then because so many people were coming and going that they did not even have a chance to eat, he said to them, come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest. So they went away themselves on the boat to a solitary place, but many who saw them leaving recognized them and ran on foot from all the towns around there, and they got ahead of them. So when Jesus landed and saw a huge crowd, he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So he began teaching them many things. And by this time it was late in the day, so his disciples came to him and said, hey, this is a remote place, they said, and it's already very late. Send the people away so that they can go to the surrounding countryside and the villages and buy themselves something to eat. But he answered, you give them something to eat. And we'll stop there, but we'll pick it up later. How would that be, man? These people started running from, and it was 5,000 men is what Scripture tells us, right? So then if you got wives and children and everything else, I mean, how many people are really there?
So yeah, so every man had a wife, and the average family was 2 children. So you're looking at like 20,000 people. That's, I mean, how many seats are at Busch Stadium?
47.
47,000?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're looking at half of Busch Stadium.
Busch Stadium. I mean, look at Centene Ice where the Blues play. That's 20,000 seats. So that full stadium.
Yeah, and Jesus says to his disciples, no, you go feed them. You know,
How are we gonna feed 20,000 people?
it's like, what do we have? We don't have anything. We don't have anything to give them. And his lessons really started there. And so as you look up some other stuff, I'm going to go into some more in just a minute, but I just had to leave it there just because how would that be? How hungry were the people leaving the villages to run? How hungry for Jesus were the people leaving the villages to run and get ahead of the boat, to go around the lake, and they ran ahead of him. How hungry were they for Jesus?
When we talking about a lake, we talking about the Sea of Galilee, right? Which is like Lake Michigan.
Right.
So these cats are running around Lake Michigan to get to the other side where Jesus is at.
And they beat him.
And they beat him there, yes.
How hungry are they for the word of God?
Oh, they were starving.
They didn't even care about food.
Mm-mm.
I mean, the disciples did because the disciples are tired. Oh, man, my feet hurt. We've been at this all day long. And they took a boat ride over.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't grateful at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. But these villagers hungered for Jesus so much that they ran ahead of them and beat them over there. That's a good picture of it.
Yeah. It's like putting out a smorgasbord in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm running to it. Before y'all even get there, I don't have my plate.
Start eating the cutting board.
I'm telling you.
Oh, y'all wanted some?
My bad. So Aesop, you listened and read some Aesop fables and stuff back in the day?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. His thing says, gratitude turns what we have into enough. It's kind of like what you just shared
Say
about
that again?
gratitude turns what we have into enough.
I love that.
Just what you were saying. You have a roof over your head. You have a car in the driveway. You have a dog that loves you.
Mm-hmm.
Be grateful for that, and that's becomes to be enough.
Yeah. Bills paid.
Right?
I mean, I used to worry, and a lot of my troubles, frankly, come from financial reasons. I used to worry about my finances so much, to where it was like, oh, I don't have enough for this, or I don't have enough for that. All of that stuff was superfluous. I had everything I needed. I had all my bills paid, right? And now I don't worry about finances because if my car's paid for, good. Rent's due, good. Food in my belly, good. Bills paid, good. That's literally all I need. Do I need a couple extra dollars to have in my pocket? It's nice, but at the end of the day, I got what I need.
Mm-hmm.
So
Makes what you have enough.
yeah, 100%.
So on that, Jesus said, he told them to go give him something to eat. They said to him, that would take more than a half a year's wages. Are we to go and spend that much on bread and give it to them to eat? Jesus asked, how many loaves do you have? He said, go and see. When they found out, they said 5 and 2 fish. Then Jesus directed them to have all the people sit down in groups on the grass. So they sat in groups of hundreds and fifties. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. 20,000 people sitting in groups of 50s and hundreds. I would have hated to try to crowd all those people. Right? But think about that. 20,000 people, 5 loaves of bread. So Jesus, going on what you just said, gave thanks to the Father for something that wasn't enough. But he gave thanks anyway. And then as he began to break it, it began to multiply. So because he gave thanks for something that wasn't enough, God blessed it as he broke it. It's a good picture of what we have to go through. We must be broken in order to be changed into what God has in store for us. We will not receive those blessings until we are broken. So if we'll come to him broken, empty-handed, and just be grateful for that brokenness. How do we do that, though? I mean, that's a hard thing for me to learn at the beginning was how can I be grateful being broken?
In the beginning of your recovery or the beginning of your life?
Any of it.
Any
of it. Think about it. None of it. When we're going through a storm, it's never easy. Why am I going through this storm? And we'll talk more about that in a minute, but go ahead.
What I was going to share was a lot of the stuff I've been through, even in my addiction, after reading a book, and it sort of says I've gone through the things I've gone through in life to bring God glory. And now that I can take my story and the things I've learned through my addiction and that and take it to others and help others and bring them to God, I'm very grateful for the crap I went through because now I got something to share with people, to bring people to God. That's why I'm grateful for that crap I went through.
Yeah, right.
God is going to send you to somebody that of what you've been through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it nice. But how do I give thanks in my brokenness? So somebody just coming in. I mean, think about some of the people we deal with.
I had a thought about, like, I was just thinking, like, I wonder how much, like, the gratitude and the desperation tie hand in hand. Like, I want to be, I was desperate for recovery. I was desperate to live a life that I could be grateful for, or to even recognize what to be grateful for. So I feel like the people that come in and are desperate, like truly desperate, like life or death, like we all still live our recovery, because it is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those people might have a closer chance of being grateful for what they do have than people that come in not desperate, and we've all been to treatment, using treatment like a vacation, that desperation and that gratitude, I feel like they're very, very close. I don't know if I'm making sense. I might be going in circles, but
No, you are. And I think that's the desperation of the people running.
Exactly.
Ahead of Jesus.
100%.
Because they hunger for God so much that they'll find Jesus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when we come in and we're desperate, but we're and not we don't have that gratitude yet,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to find the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be the why me, why me, why me
Oh, yeah.
part of things. It was said that miracles start with what we have. So how can we be grateful for what we have?
There's a Christian song out there. I can't remember what the name of it, but he comes out and goes, "I am blessed. I don't have much, but I could have less." Something about it. I just love that tone. I love the way he brings it. Yeah, maybe not. We don't have a whole lot. We think we don't have enough to be thankful for, but be thankful for what we do have, because we could have less.
It could always be worse, and I would say that to everybody that would come in, a new client, if I'm just meeting them, or when I was counseling. It's like, you're here. You have an opportunity now. And if, let's say, people come and then they go out and then they come back, you made it back. How many people can say that they did? So there's gratitude in every tiny little thing. Doesn't matter what it is. A lot of people don't get an opportunity to get recovery in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So for people that are in recovery, there's nothing but an attitude of gratitude, because we do have a chance to better ourselves.
There should be.
There should, yeah. I was gonna say there should be, because there's been quite a few.
We know some negative Nancy's, right?
Well, what I'm saying is, for the people that that are that desperate, right?
Yeah, back to the
Desperation.
people running around the lake.
Running around the lake. What are you going to do? What lengths are you going to go to? They ran around a lake.
And it's not a little lake.
No. You say Lake Michigan?
Yeah,
It's a friggin' ocean.
it's like running. It's like running from Chicago to Detroit.
You can't see the other side.
And here these people are beating a boat. And they haven't even had dinner yet. That's why the disciples are like, man, get rid of them. We want to eat. We know they're hungry.
Yeah.
They ran and they beat us here.
Right.
Yeah, if we're grateful for what we have, God will multiply that. And so I like it to where it could always get worse, but I just like to try to look at things and say, why can't I find something positive in it? Why can't I be grateful for this?
Right.
We always have enough. Even if it's just the breath in our lungs, we have enough. And they played that song again today, Gratitude. The one that keeps wrecking me for the third time, twice in church, once on a men's retreat. All 3 times I've heard it. Because it says, I have nothing left to give except for this hallelujah, right? And dude, there's something about that part that just wrecks the crap out of me, because here, he don't care about anything else.
Mm-hmm.
He don't care if we have a brand new car, a brand new house. That's not what it's about. But can I be grateful for what I do have, which is a hallelujah to him. A thank you.
When he said to his disciples, I want you to feed them. And they're probably like, we don't have anything left.
Yep.
Okay, you don't have anything left, but what do you have? That's where the answer lies. What do you have?
Service.
Service. you can go be of service. Like we all are. We all try to be as much service to others, right? So
Actually, no, that just crushed me.
what?
I was just complaining. I'll be honest. I was just complaining about certain individuals and then how it's wrecking me because they don't have that gratitude.
Yeah.
What can I do? What can I do for What can I do?
Yeah.
I can serve.
Yeah.
Keep doing what I do, and if they don't take it, that's on them. I can't do nothing about that.
That's it.
I'll give you the fish. You ain't gonna eat, starve. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
You can lead a horse to water.
Hey, but if the desperation becomes enough,
Yeah, right.
they will.
Right.
Or they will wither away, unfortunately. I was going to say something, man. I forgot. It's all right.
Forget her.
It's one of those days.
It is.
But at least
It
I
is.
remembered mine and came back. I wrote a note so I could come back to it.
Hey, at least we all remember to show up today.
Love you, Perm.
Yes. Big love to Big Jerv. If anybody hasn't noticed, he is away today, and nothing but love for Germ.
Yeah, you know how a lot of us complain about what we do have. Why can't I have more? Why don't I have more?
Yeah.
And another thing that was said today that really sat well with me, I mean, I could say it sat well. It makes sense. God's not going to give you more until you manage what you already have.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a good way to look at it.
Being faithful with the smaller things, so I make you ruler over bigger things.
Yeah. But I mean, until we show that we can manage what we do have and manage it properly, why would God bless us with more? Because we're not going to manage it well either.
Yeah.
So
Gratitude can show others that you do not take your second chance at life for granted. By expressing thankfulness for everything you have in your life, you can shift your mindset from focusing on what you lack to appreciating all the wonderful things you have going for you.
I think that ties into everything we've been saying.
Yeah.
Everything we've been saying. Absolutely.
So somebody was reading scripture when they wrote that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, I mean, I said that this morning, like I took for granted my health. I just always thought like, I rarely get sick. And so I got sick and I got sick, it was not good. And getting outside today really showed me like, take care of yourself.
So what happened on the golf course that made you just so happy?
Well, number one, I haven't played in a while. It's been a couple weeks, maybe 3. And the other thing is I was out there and I was alone. I was just at peace and I could be by myself. I played okay. I didn't play great. But I had that constant mental conversation going on like, okay, forget that last one. It's on the next one. Forget that last one. It's on to the next one. What can I do right this time to make my wherever I'm at a better situation? What can I do to improve my situation? So and that, I always say that that's for me that's life. You get knocked down. What can you do to make yourself better?
And I love a 270-yard drive down the pipe. I needed this big time.
I did need that big time. Yeah. One of the best drives I've hit on that hole that I can remember. And it was just like, this is what it's all about. Because I literally drive down the cart path and I am smack dab in the middle of the fairway. And then my next shot goes straight into the sand. I don't even care because I'm literally 235 yards out, straight down the pipe.
So grateful for what you do have.
Absolutely.
When I seen it come across and I actually had something typed, I had to delete it. I had something typed back to you,
Yeah.
and I just didn't hit send, of course.
I knew you probably did because I knew you were in service.
But here's this picture out there right after this little drive, and I think that's so cool, though. I mean, you said it before in the podcast that you could have all these horrible shots, but that one good shot is enough.
That's it. Yeah. Keep you coming back.
Some of the most grateful people that you know, who are they?
Man, that's a good question. Number one, I would say my mom.
Well, I didn't mean by name. Well, you could do that by name, but I meant
Oh, so just like,
some of the most grateful people that
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
yeah.
They all have one thing in common.
The higher power of Jesus Christ.
Well, that too. But they've all been broken.
Yeah.
They've all been through hell.
People in recovery.
People in recovery, but I mean, even those that, well, the Bible is recovery, but 90% of the Bible is recovery. But it's always the broken people, the ones that have been to hell, and they don't want to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Are some of the most blessed people I know. I will always say, man, you bring some of us into a church, we know Jesus.
Yeah.
We know Jesus on a different level because of what we've already been to hell. Jesus came and rescued us, brought us up out of hell, and gave us another chance. So yeah, we're going to be grateful.
Oh yeah, very grateful, because I truly feel that a lot of times I don't deserve to be here. He thought differently, and I'm grateful for the fact I'm still here and doing what I do today.
And we tie it all into mental health. So a lot of those people that you just said, and I know this because I was one of them. A lot of those people always have a smile on, no matter how hard life is, because they have seen that darkness. They have been down in that hole. So I always say, show some gratitude and check how those people are doing. Check your friends out. Check your friends out who seem like they got everything going right, because I guarantee you that person might be struggling with something. I know I was a lot of the time. I was always trying to make everybody else happy because I was so sad. You know what I mean? I was trying to live vicariously through other people. So check the people that seem like everything's good.
And don't let them get away with
I'm fine.
not just on, but with simplicity. Do not let them get away with it. Dig, ask.
Yeah.
Look, man, I was in a bad place not long ago. Nobody knew it until afterwards, really. I mean, I was in a pretty dark place, so it's easy to hide.
Yeah.
And if you ask the right questions, you'll know. So, yeah, check on them. Make sure they're good. Take them out to eat. Food always makes things better.
Oh yeah.
Opens up the floor completely. Yeah.
I don't ever like meeting if I have to meet a hard case, I'd rather do it over food.
Yeah.
Derek remembered that when we went to go visit his brother. Everything needs to be done over food.
Oh, I'm not gonna meet with my other family member tomorrow. We're going to stop off and get something to eat.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to First Watch.
It's like a universal icebreaker.
See, and I love this as you go on to the next piece. It says, if God allows you to be broken, or Steve said this from the pulpit, if God allows you to be broken, he isn't doing it to hurt you. He's doing it to bless you. And I'm like, if he allows you to be broken, now he's not going to cause those bad things, but if he's going to allow you to be broken, there's that lesson through it. He is going to bless you through that. Mm-hmm. And most of the time it's that way we could turn around and bless somebody else. And right after that, he says, the blessing only passes through your hands, but it didn't come from your hands. So the blessing passes through us, but comes from Jesus. What's that tell you? 12 step?
Yeah.
Yep.
We could only keep what we have by giving it away. I mean, that's the first thing I thought of.
Freely.
Yeah, because we are going to give it away. It passes through us, but it doesn't come from us.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love the fact that it allows you to be broken. And I talked about this a little bit before, and I want to mention it because I think this is really, really awesome. It's a centuries-old art from Japan. It's called kintsugi, and it's basically part of a philosophy of embracing the beauty of human flaws. Okay, so kintsugi is, let's say a pot breaks. What they do was, instead of just, like we do a lot, just shoveling it away, right? They would mend it with gold, silver, platinum, to really accentuate the differences and the broken and the flaws in each individual. So the more we express our gratitude for the flaws that we have been blessed with, the better that we can learn to understand and love through Christ. Like, that is, because no one in here is infallible. Everyone is completely flawed. But we can respect and we can be grateful for those flaws.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
But also, once we're broken, then he will shape us and mold us into what he wants us to be.
Right.
Now, you said something else, though, too, to go along with.
Yeah. Since I think it was what they used the term was a jar of clay. And they say that's what we are as vessels of God. We are jars of clay. If you put that light inside of a solid jar, that light only shines one direction. But if that jar has been broken and rebuilt back together, it's got all these little cracks and holes in it and stuff that light can shine out of. So it shines in all directions. So sometimes we had to be broken so that we may shine in different directions.
Our light will shine through the brokenness, yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so After the feeding of the 5,000, what did Jesus do?
Took a nap, didn't he?
I would have.
He sent the disciples in the boat to go across the water. So he sent them out, and there's a bad wind, but it's not the bad storm time, but they were stuck because Jesus was going across the water. He was walking on water. So Jesus was going across instead of walking around the lake. I wouldn't either. I don't blame him. And he comes up on the disciples, and they're not going anywhere, and they freak out because they thought he was a ghost. But think about it. He sent them out into a storm, into that little windstorm where they couldn't get anywhere. And so was it a divine appointment? Was it a divine instruction to go? So when we find ourselves in that storm, we can look at that as a divine instruction from Jesus, from God saying, I need you to do this because you're going to be blessed when you come out of it. So be grateful. We got to be grateful for them storms, those trials, those lessons. But it's hard to do.
It is hard. Yeah.
I can tell you when me and Christina both found ourselves jobless at the end of 2022, even though we knew what was coming, we didn't know what was coming. And it was hard to find joy sometimes. So
Is that when Jesus reached in and said, "Oh, ye little faith"? How long do I got to be here?
and he always does. He always provides. He everything turns out okay, but in that storm, we feel like it's the end. And so how can we be grateful through those storms? Waking up and giving thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I like writing. Grab a tactile, turn pen. I mean, you could, Sober 15 gets you 15% off. Order one. Find how much you like writing with a good instrument and see if you can't write for 5 minutes a day.
So, talking about being in a storm, being grateful for the storms. And I want to wrap up with what I love this, and I've told this to a lot of people, especially when I was running groups. You guys know the difference between a cow and a buffalo?
No.
No.
Okay, that was the answer I was looking for.
Okay.
So,
I mean, a cow you get milk from?
yeah.
No.
You get milk from a buffalo too. Just don't taste as good. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. So when storms come in, and this guy, he grew up in Colorado, so when storms come in, they usually come in from the west to the east, right? Cows do is very natural. Cows sense a storm coming from the west, and so they start to run towards the east. Well, if you know anything about cows, they're slow, right? They're not fast. So basically, the storm catches up with them, and they continue to run with the storm, right? So that is maximizing the amount of damage and let's cause for us, emotional distress, bad emotions, bad headspace,
Mental health issues.
right? Mental health issues. We try to run and we try to avoid. Okay, humans do the same thing. We typically try to avoid all of the challenges in our lives, right? Especially, I would say, when we're using and drinking, we're trying to avoid. We're trying to find the quick fix, right, to what we're going through, which typically it never is the answer, and it simply maximizes the pain, right? So the difference between a cow and a buffalo, what they do is the exact opposite. They see the storm coming in, and instead of running east away from the storm, they run directly at the storm. By running at the storm passes over quicker, minimizing the damage and the stress and all of those negative thoughts and all that negative mental health that we always talk about. So instead of running with it, run at it, challenge it. Because the more you challenge it, the easier it is and the quicker it will pass over.
Face everything and recover, or forget everything and run.
Yeah.
Fear. Got it. Write that one down.
Don't let fear dictate what you're going to be doing.
No, I like that. I've never heard it before, but I mean, it's good instruction. One, you're going to get tired running away from it.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit there through the whole thing.
Always.
And if you just turn around and run towards it, at least you won't get as tired and it'll be gone. Yeah, I like that.
The beauty of it is, too, you run through enough storms, you realize that there is sun on the other side.
Dancing in the rain.
Mm-hmm. Especially in Missouri.
And be grateful for it, right?
Be grateful for the
that storm.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Derek, what do you have in closing?
Just gratitude is not just this time of the year. It should be something that's practiced all year round. Let's be grateful for what we have. If we're grateful for what we have, we always seem to have enough, and that's what we need to be grateful for, and we need to practice it regularly. So even in our recovery, be grateful that we're in recovery. Be grateful that we have a chance to better ourselves as individuals.
Yeah. How are you going to practice gratitude? Are you going to go out and show it, which is the best way to do it? Are you going to write it? I'd encourage you to write it, but write your why. I bet you anything, there's going to be a little graphic that comes up during this show throughout. It's going to say, know your why.
Mm-hmm.
Know your why. What are you grateful for and why are you grateful for it? It will change the way you think. I don't have a know your why. They haven't been made yet. It'll be coming. She's making them.
Why not?
Because some of the the graphics sent over too many different ones. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of different ones made. But yeah, know your why and be grateful all year round. I like that. I do like that. So start writing a gratitude list. Let's see what it'll do to your mind. If I tell you what, if it doesn't change, we'll refund your misery. Then you could go back to being crabby.
I love that.
Refund your misery.
We'll refund all your misery. If writing a gratitude list for the next 90 days, or let's just start at 30, the next 30 days, if writing a gratitude list at 5 minutes a day does not change your happiness and your joy level, we'll refund your misery. I promise. So with that, God bless you guys. We love you. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, we are on all podcast platforms. Thank you.
See you guys next week.
Yeah.